All right, everybody. Looking for our daily dose of wisdom. Go ahead and flip to January 8th. The title of this one is called Our Amazing Creator Father. The verse comes from Psalm chapter 8, verses 3 through 4 in the NLT version. It says, "When I look at the night sky and see the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars you set in place, what are mere mortals that you should think about them, human beings that you should care for them? If you want to feel very small and insignificant, go far from city lights on a clear, moonless night, and look up and observe the incredible multitude of heavenly bodies. Then consider that what you can see represents a tiny fraction of what's out there." When David looked up into the night sky, he was amazed at what he could see, though he had no idea what else God had created and placed beyond what appeared to him. But when he considered that the same God who created those things simply by speaking them into existence loved him, cared for him, and thought about him, he was in awe. God's creation is so vast that even the most brilliant minds can't fully comprehend its size. But God's love, his love for you, is even bigger. It's a wonderful thing to sit back and kind of take in for a minute. One of the things I really enjoy doing is going to the beach or the mountains or somewhere and getting up to as high of an elevation as I can, whether that be at the end of like a boat dock looking out into the sea, whether that be the hotel room with the balcony looking out to the sea, whether it be being on top of a mountain looking down and seeing all the hills and the valleys and the trees. And that's a moment of it's a moment I take and really stop and I think and I really start to admire just the vastness of this world. You just you don't realize on the ground just how big the world is. Mm. Until you either look up at the sky and start to see the first layer of clouds and then the second layer of clouds, and then at night the stars. You can see some of them are closer, some of them are further back, depending on the brightness. You can see the depth. Sometimes you can see the other planets. The moon is usually a lot closer. Sometimes the moon is so close that you can start to see the little craters on it. And you just can't understand the vastness of that until you take it from a different perspective. None of us have had the opportunity to, I'm sure. But just imagine flying to the moon and that little circle that you see up in the sky where you can occasionally see maybe some little divots in it. You land on that and you realize that divot is actually a huge crater, that there's no way you're going to be able to walk across it. The only one who knows all these perspectives is God. He sees all these things, but we every now and then get to experience something like that. And it's true. You're in such awe of what you see. And that was all created, even things you don't realize. There have been people who have given great speeches that have been up high and outlooked across thousands and thousands of people. As a perspective, maybe none of us will see as well. Going back to the moon example, to have somebody, to have something so detailed look so simple from the outside, and then to learn of all the little intricate details and to see that all of those things were created, it's amazing. God's creation is so vast that even the most brilliant minds can't fully comprehend its size. But God's love, his love for you, is even bigger. I remember back to the Bible verse that speaks about how we are the salt of the earth and that we are masterpieces. We are our Creator's masterpieces, even with our flaws. And I think about those moments, and it still is hard for me to believe that he thinks that we're better than that. How many times have you had a time in your life where you experienced something new and you were like, I'm going to remember this forever? All that feeling that you had in that moment, the happiness, the joy, the thrill of experiencing something new, all of that just pales in comparison to the fact that the Lord loves you that much. That's amazing. We can understand why David was in awe. David is a wonderful story, a long saga within himself, and full of ups, downs, craziness, blessings, faith, just all that stuff, all the story of David, from taking down Goliath to committing horrible sins against his friends. That's still a masterpiece. I think we all know David had God's favor, and he had a lot of it. There's a ton of inspiration to take from this, just in this wonderful moment of just looking at the world. And we went from noticing the moon to the love that God has for us. So every time we look out, we can think about that love for us it's hard to put into words how peaceful that is. But ultimately, I think as far as wisdom goes, it's fulfilling to know that not only is our God great when we see something awesome, but we are also great because we are the crowning achievement of them all. No matter what we do, we are still that crowning achievement. Father in heaven, I am astounded at the thought of the vast, complex universe you created just by speaking it into existence. Your creation is far beyond my ability to comprehend. Even more amazing to me is that a God who has the power to create such things so deeply loves an insignificant man like me. Thank you for your love. Amen. That's not uplifting and is a wonderful day to start out your day. I don't know what is.